Hello, my name is Brenda Morgan, and we today are going to continue our exploration of longevity habits for all of July and August, or most of August. We're going to be talking about longevity habits. And we're going to discuss this week the physical and mental benefits of making movement a daily habit. Thrivewell has a variety of movement classes. Do you guys go to them?
Yes.
Yes. Such great classes, and I actually am going to show you the schedule. So if there's something that you haven't tried and been meaning to try, then maybe you can pencil that in on your calendar. The key is to find the movement form that best fits you, right? People ask me, what's the best form of movement or exercise or fitness? Really, what fits you? Now, if you have certain goals, then yeah, maybe strength training might be more important than the cardio, or you balance that out in different ways, flexibility. But what you can fit in your schedule, that you're doing something. If you're doing anything on a regular basis, like every other day you're doing 30 minutes, you are ahead of 90% of the population. Less than 10% of the population actually has a regular fitness schedule, even if that's just walking. And that's easy to fit in most places. We are also going to, our recipe today is going to be a variety of energy balls. Very good, really simple. I think I brought you 2 of them, and I think you're really going to enjoy the 2 that I brought, but I also brought you a bunch of new ideas too, so things that you can change it up for whatever you're in the mood for, and find whatever flavor you like the best. I think what's important about this longevity habit of fitness and exercise is, again, kind of, as we were talking about in Meals for One, that you are taking the time, investing the time, like you invest the time in coming to this class to learn a little bit more. I see that many of you get really inspired when you come here and you're like, oh, I tried this, I did this. But it also takes repetition, right? It takes practice. So to keep doing that on a regular basis, and then it becomes easier and easier and easier. I also wanted to review our classes for these longevity habits. So in San Antonio and in New Braunfels on Saturdays, we've got the same schedule going on because Bethany and I are sharing those classes. We're alternating. So this Saturday, there'll be a class at 11:30 in New Braunfels, and most Saturdays at 11:30 in New Braunfels. We missed last week because of 4th of July. Did you have a good time? Did you do anything interesting? You went to a friend's house. Excellent. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
I cleaned my house.
You cleaned your house. You know what? That's what people were asking me, what are you going to do on 4th of July? I'm like, I have a lot of work I want to get done. But then the problem is everybody's home from school and work and they want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, hold on. So this week we're going to talk about exercise and fitness. Next Tuesday, the 15th, we'll talk about a balanced life, keeping all of those longevity pillars balanced and figuring out which ones could you work a little bit more on and which ones do you have a good hold on. And then the one I cannot wait to bring to you is sleep. On July 22nd, we're going to talk about sleep. And if any of you want to read ahead, I'm going to be basing a lot of that on Matthew Walker's book called Why We Sleep. If you want to write that down, we can have book club. Yes? And I'm thinking too, so today, since we're doing fitness, I wore fitness clothes. So I'm thinking on the 22nd, we can wear pajamas. You want to have a pajama class for sleep? Yeah, let's do it. And then on the 29th, because a lot of people are requesting Meals for One, we did that on the 1st of July, but we're going to do it again on the 29th just because there's so many recipes and so many ideas for Meals for One. We can wear what?
Muumuus.
Muumuus.
It's for food.
we can wear muumuus for meals for one. I really like having you in class. I don't have one, but I probably have some like big dresses I could pass, right? So maybe like a maxi dress or something like that. And then in New Braunfels, so I'm just teaching in July. I'm not sure, Rosie, do you know yet who's teaching in August? I'm sorry, I keep asking you. Okay. But I can tell you in New Braunfels, because I'll still be teaching and Bethany will still be teaching, that one of the next pillars, we kind of put them together, is stress management, getting outside, and also mindful eating. So practicing those things, talking about them a little bit more, and then life purpose and relationships. And really, life purpose could be at the top, right? That motivation, your reason for being, and also coming together with relationships. In New Braunfels, we'll be talking about the microbiome, because I know a lot of you are requesting that. So if we don't get it here in San Antonio, the next time I teach, I'm going to focus on microbiome whenever Jose asks me to teach again. So today we're going to talk about the benefits of regular activity and exercising in community, which you're so lucky to have the opportunity. And many of you at home too might go to a gym or going to ThriveWell classes. We're going to review what's available there. And then what are the physical activity recommendations by the American College of Science Medicine. What do they recommend? And then I want to talk about, what do you like to do? Share what movement forms work for you. What have you tried? What do you not like so much? And then how to fuel your workouts. Hydration too. We had like a whole class on hydration, but now we're going to talk about fuel and hydration just specifically for workouts. And again, you have the power. So you have the power with every single step you take. Every time you get out of bed and you say, or you get off the couch or you get out of a chair and you say, I'm going to do some more steps, or I'm going to go to that fitness class, or I'm just going to put on a YouTube video, or I'm just going to dance around. You can just put on music and dance around, right? Does anyone ever do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to that.
Just to the music in your head, right? Me too. Many of you know me already, but for the people at home that are watching this video, my name is Brenda Morgan. I am a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and a personal trainer and a health coach also. And I have been teaching for ThriveWell since 2016. I love this community. My purpose, my passion is to disseminate all of this knowledge that I've been working on with nutrition, with fitness, with lifestyle habits, to make sure that that gets out to the people, but also then to support them. Because many of you already know what are good habits, right? Turning off the iPad or the television and going to bed a little bit late or earlier and getting more rest and making good, healthy choices. But we need to support each other because we're kind of surrounded in an environment that says, hey, let's just eat this fast food, or stress yourself out because you're not working hard enough. You need to work more. Really, do we? Like, we have to find that balance. And if you are working more, then is there joy in that? How are you mentally handling all that? We'll talk more about that in a few weeks. But today we're going to talk about physical activity. FAMS is an easy way to remember this. Flexibility, agility, mobility, stability, and strength. Those are like the 5 points of physical exercise. These things that you might want to check. Am I balanced in those things? Maybe some of you love to do cardio and we walk a lot, especially, for those of us who might want to lose weight. Then we think, oh, if I burn, I'll burn more fat if I walk, if I do more cardio. But as we get older, and that's actually what my master's thesis was on, is sarcopenia. And we'll talk a little bit more, well, when we won't. We're going to talk about it right now. Sarcopenia is the loss of muscle. As we get older, it's a normal progression. So we have to put in place practices that are going to fight that. So it's about, after the age of 40, it's about 1% muscle fat that you are losing every single year. So think about that. After 10 years, if that's 40, that's probably not even midlife for many of us, right? So you still have 40 more years, at least, maybe 50 more years, that if you don't choose to make sure that you're keeping that muscle on, then it's just naturally going to degrade, and then you might get frail. And so I'm going to focus a little bit more on strength, because our generation hasn't been taught. We've been taught to do cardio, right? We haven't been taught that lifting weights is really important. So to keep your bones strong, because I know many of you care about your bone health, right? Yeah. To keep your bones strong, you have to have strong muscles. That is going to make a difference, so that you don't have, I just lost the word for it. What's it called when you lose? Osteopenia or osteoporosis. Thank you very much. So that you're not losing that strength in your bones, you have to keep your muscles strong. Now, what does that mean? Now, when it says lift heavy for you, so it might be that you are lifting 5 pounds, and that might be heavy for you, right? You're going to progress from the 5 pounds, maybe lifting 10 pounds. And it depends on what muscle group you're using too, because your biceps, you might be able to do 10 pounds, right? But then if you're doing your deltoids, your shoulders, you might be doing 5. And a good way to measure that for yourself is 10 repetitions. So if you're doing 10, 1, 2, 3, at 10, you want to be going 10, like really making that work. And if you're not doing that, then go up on your weights a little bit. If you're doing 5, then maybe go up to the 8. It depends on what you have available, right? But here's the thing too with lifting heavy is when I'm training my clients, then I tell them it's better just to do like 2 or 3 reps heavy to failure. That's better than not doing it at all or doing like less. Does that make sense? So if there's like a big scary 15-pound weight right there in front of you, try it. If I can just do this once, 15 pounds, if that's all I can do, yes. I actually have clients sometimes that are just intimidated by the number on the weight. So what I encourage them to do is just pick up that weight. Just start to make friends with it, right? Does anyone here do weight training at all? A little bit? Yeah. And we'll talk about that too. We have classes that are just specifically weight training. And you don't have to, if you don't own weights or if you're not a member of a gym, you could do push-ups. You could do push-ups against a wall. That's still weight, your own body weight, right? Up against a wall. Your own, yeah, use gravity. I mean, even like lunges, right? So I'm not sure how well you can see me, but I think you get the idea of what I'm doing here. Just going down and up, you're pushing your body weight against gravity. Flexibility, really important. Yoga, just stretching. I mean, if you're anywhere on airplanes, in grocery stores, just stretching. Getting in that calf stretch, because you're probably walking, at least you're walking if you're doing nothing else, right? So getting that calf stretch in, that will really help to prevent injuries, make your recovery time quicker, especially if you're just starting off something new that you've never done before. make sure you get that flexibility in, that you get that stretching in, because then instead of being sore 2 days later, maybe you'll be sore for a day, or it'll be less. It'll be significantly less because you've given yourself a little bit of opportunity to open up those muscles. And one of the things I know too, scientifically, with flexibility and also with balance, if you have a flexible body, your mind tends to be more flexible. You tend to be more open-minded. If you can balance, what happens when you balance, so both sides of your brain are talking to each other to keep this here and this balanced. So you're balancing your brain and your body at the same time. And I know that is true for ADHD because my daughter has ADHD and I have read the literature. I know it. And so I will take her to yoga classes. I will take her running or doing whatever, doing all that fitness, because it really helps the brain a lot. Did you have a question? Okay. Say again.
I might do that with more intention. I know that
Right.
with I've been doing some weightlifting and I have to like stop, think what I'm gonna do, and then do it, because if not, like I can get like hurt.
Right, and that's a really good point. When you're doing any kind of exercise, but you were specifically talking about weightlifting, you have to stop and focus on what you're doing. If not, you can get hurt. That is, especially when you're starting off too. It's like you want to do it, you want to impress, or or maybe you're just unsure and your form might be off. So take the time to allow yourself the time to say, okay, am I doing this right? Especially like when we start to get into the legs and stuff like that, the precious knees, to make sure that you've got your toes in the right direction, that you're moving right in a squat, right? That you're not overextending things. And when you're lifting, that you're not hurting your shoulders. And that's the one thing too about the mobility part of it, is that range of motion. How many people do you know that like say, oh, I can't lift my shoulder past here? Yeah. So that range of motion is super, super important. Sorry, I realized I could talk about this forever. So we're going to move on. The benefits of physical activity: improved mood and confidence. How many times have you gone into a workout or not wanted to go into a workout and you're like, somehow you got yourself there, right? And you start moving. Okay, you get the blood flowing. 5 minutes into it. All right, I'm good. Yeah, especially if you're doing it with people. And that's what I'm going to emphasize a lot today, is in community. So you give me a smile, you give me a smile. I'm like, yeah, life is good. Okay. And things might be a little bit creaky to begin with, and you start moving, and maybe 15 minutes into it, you're going. And then when it's over, whether you did 30 minutes or you did an hour, wow, you feel so good, right? And sometimes we have to remind ourselves until we just have that habit of, I work out every day for this amount of time, or every Tuesday I do this thing, and every Saturday I do this thing. So as we talked about, strong muscles and bones, really important reason to do physical activity, keeps our heart and lungs strong, keeps everything cleaned out, especially cardiovascular wise, so that less chance for heart disease, because it's cleaning out that plaque as your blood flows through it. Fall prevention, like we were talking about with balance, but also all that strength will help with the fall prevention too. And the mobility. So, one of the things I didn't touch on the other slide is that agility. Agility is like the ability to move fast, right? To catch that thing that's falling out of the cabinet. I got it, right? That's your agility. And that is also fall prevention. If you can catch yourself, or find a wall or something like that, that'll help you too as we get older. Better sleep. Have you noticed you have better sleep when you work out?
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I,
But I have trouble sleeping.
You have trouble sleeping in general, right? But if you're working out on a regular basis, at least you have that opportunity. And it doesn't always have to be like a workout, right? So sometimes you can tire yourself out and get better sleep, but sometimes we just need to breathe, to find that breath that might come from yoga, that might come from meditation. Some of those things will also help you sleep. And preventing muscle loss with age, as we spoke about, and then weight management too. Making sure that you get that physical activity and better quality of life. So what would be a better quality of life for you? Say 10 years from now, what would be a better quality of life for you? Or at least sustaining. You see people that are older probably, and you go, oh, what can I do to make sure that I'm standing up straight and able to play with or do whatever I want to do? Travel. Do any of those things speak to you? Yeah?
Being able to be as agile as my dad was at 91. He was amazing.
You have really good inspiration. You have a good shoes to follow in. So you want to be as agile as your father was at 91. That is a good goal to have. Yeah, to be able to do all those things and enjoy your life, that you're not in doctor's appointments every other day, that you're actually living right? But you're moving away from that, right? I mean, the goal is to be able to maybe travel, maybe just go see your family. Did you have something you wanted to say also?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is travel and to enjoy life.
Travel and enjoy life. Uh-huh.
Still be in my right.
Yes, let's talk about that more. Brain. Actually, can I write that down? We need to have a whole presentation on brain health. I always touch on it, right? Because for me, it's super important too, but just keeping that brain health. We could talk about that for a month, probably. But that is also good segue. That is also one of the benefits of exercising in community, is having that joy of the human connection like we do when we come to this class, and to be seen and understood as we share our stories. How much do you relax? When you leave this class, do you feel like a little bit more connected, a little more relaxed, a little more understood? So in a fitness class, when everybody's like, or maybe you're doing it together, right? Maybe everybody is this at the same time, that synchronization. Have you experienced that when like everybody's this, you're doing it together, or you're singing together, singing in church or wherever? That connection is really powerful. Those things in community allow you to take advantage of these hormones that are created in the brain and in the body. The endorphins are natural pain relievers and stress reducers when you're working out. These things happen in general when you're working out. These hormones are created, the endorphins and the dopamine and the serotonin specifically, but you get more of them when you're working out with other people. This oxytocin, does anyone know oxytocin? Does that sound familiar to you? How do you know it? What does it sound like?
That sounds like...
It's like love, right? Like the love hormone. Some people say the sex hormone. But yeah, I mean, you get a lot of oxytocin from that too. But it's social bonding and trust, right? That oxytocin. It regulates your nervous system, makes you nice and calm. The dopamine, that motivation, the reward system in the brain, and that serotonin which comes from the workout and also from that human connection, is a mood stabilizer, but it also really helps you to sleep, right? Your overall well-being from just hanging with people, but even better when we're working out together. So I put up the schedule on here. I'm pretty sure you can't see it from there, but I also printed out a few. I can talk through them. Would you like to see the schedule while I'm talking about it, or is it okay for me to just talk through it? What do you prefer?
You can pass it out.
Okay. I brought a few just so you can kind of, and that way too you can circle. Does anyone want a New Braunfels schedule or just San Antonio? Yeah, I have 3. There you go. I'll keep the New Braunfels one. That one you'll be able to read better because it's bigger. But I just wanted to touch on a few of the things. First of all, the different locations, right? So no matter where you live in San Antonio, there's probably a place that's close enough to you. And since they're free to divas and dudes, then it's worth it to go wherever you need to go. It's free, right? So we've got classes at Tri Point, on North St. Mary's, on Roosevelt Avenue. We've got some classes at the neighborhood place at Rivas. And then over, if you're on the north side, there's classes at Thousand Oaks YMCA. There's also the Aquafit classes at the West Side YMCA. I hear those are very popular.
It's a good class.
Yeah, that Aquafit class is really popular. And then if you've not been over to Dr. Shree's yoga, pardon me?
That's a good class.
That's a great class, and his space that he's created over there, if you go for nothing else but to just go check out the space for one class.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm so jealous when I walked into it. I was like, I'm building that. That is awesome. Right? It's just fantastic. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of the different things that you have available to you also. So there's everything from Tai Chi to stretching and meditation. There's Salsa Fit, which looks like, to me, is becoming I know you go to that class because there's photographs. Yeah. And it seems like that class keeps getting bigger and bigger. Am I correct about that? Yeah. It was just 3 of you, but now it's gotten bigger because I've seen photographs where there's at least 10, 12 people. It depends on the day. Yeah, and it's summertime too, but salsa and fit, yes, I want to go to that. There's yoga. So if you look at the schedule too, you can see there's classes Monday through Saturday. There's classes Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So there's something that you might be able to find that works in your schedule. Line dancing. I heard that one's really good too. Yeah?
That one, that's really fun.
Uh-huh. That, I would love to do that. But then we've also got the strength training here. So don't forget, there's lots of really fun things. But if you have a good instructor, how do you make strength training fun? We can make it fun. That's actually been my mission the past few months. I'm like, no matter what I'm doing, how can I make this fun? Even if it's not the most fun thing, how do we make it fun? Because, yeah, life is short. Make it precious. There's also kickboxing, aerobic. Is there anything that you see on that schedule that you want to try, or anything that you recommend?
I do recommend Aquafit.
Aquafit you recommend? Uh-huh.
Kickboxing with Kathy, it's good, it's hard.
Kickboxing with Kathy is good, it's hard.
It's hard.
But does she allow you to like do it at your level, even though it's, yeah. But she pushes you.
People do it, it's like, you want to be at that level.
Right.
It motivates you to try even harder.
And I didn't put that on the list. I should have. When you're working out in community, that inspiration, even when you're not like, some people are consciously going, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it harder. I want to do it harder because that person's doing it harder. But even if you're not consciously, you're just getting a little more lift. You're going to get a little bit more inspiration, a little bit more motivation. But then also as a trainer, I would say, listen to your body and make sure you're paying attention too. But But it also like shows you could probably do a lot more than you thought. Right? Do you ever have that experience? Be like, if I was at home by myself, maybe I would have done 80%, 90%.
Because some of the classes they do seem intimidating, and you think, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I have an hour of this. And then you finally get through it, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it might seem intimidating, and you might be a little trepidatious because it's like, oh, can I do this for an hour? But again, I think all the instructors here would say to you, do it at your own pace. Right? I mean, don't get too much pride. I've talked to a few people. They're just like, oh, I don't want to go because I think I can only do like 15 minutes. And I'm like, just go. I think everybody is loving and compassionate. That is, at least with Thrive Well, I say to them, just go and get in the community. Just go, do the fitness classes, and then you'll figure out there's so much love there. And then if you do 15 minutes and then you do the rest of it in a chair, or there's no judgment. Yeah.
Take a break.
If you need to take a break, take a break. So we're starting to build up these classes too in New Braunfels. If you ever get a chance to go out there at Amplify Movement, I just went over there and met Christine, the owner. She's got a beautiful space. So nice. So we're building up those classes out there. If for some reason you happen to be out there on a day, there's yoga, there's Pilates, there's bar, there's my nutrition classes with Bethany, there's stretching, and then there's strength and cardio over at Eyes Bar Strength. Do they say Eyes Bar? Eyes Bar. Eyes Bar Strength Training. So again, I'm going to push you to get out of your comfort zone a lot. If you don't do a lot of strength training, that is what is going to keep you young and strong and doing all those things that you want to do. And I've been talking too much, so I'm going to talk a little bit faster through this part of it so that we can get the food demonstration. But I just wanted to talk for a minute about hydration, even though we did a whole class on hydration a few months ago. Does anyone remember how much more water you need per workout or per minutes of workout?
It was a glass of water per hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Extra per.
Probably about, I mean, this is almost kind of a trick question unless you think in ounces. So it's about 12 ounces per 30 minutes of vigorous exercise, right? So if you're doing a whole hour-long class, but it's pretty moderate, enough to get you sweating, but you're not like gasping forever, for 30 whole minutes, probably an extra 12 ounces, an extra glass is going to be enough. And when I say extra, that would be on top of however many ounces you would normally have just for yourself. Now, again, we're in San Antonio. It is 90 to 100 degrees for 6 months. I'm exaggerating, but maybe not.
I mean, you're not.
No, you're not.
Yeah, but not. Good. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, so just that too is going to give you a little bit more. Now, people ask me about electrolytes a lot. If you're not working out really vigorously more than like an hour or 90 minutes, you probably don't need electrolytes. I mean, if you really, really like them and you want to take them, unless you're like doing maybe if you're having trouble eating, or if you if there's medications that are leaching your electrolytes, things like that, there might be a reason. But for the general population, you probably don't need electrolytes. But I brought a couple here just to kind of pass around so you could see. So this liquid IV is really popular. A lot of people, because they sell it at Costco. So you sell things at Costco and then things become very popular. But this, as I'm looking at the ingredients, it has a lot of sugar in it. And if you need the sugar for a little boost, that's not a bad thing. But besides the sugar in it, it also has stevia and it also has dextrose. And dextrose is just another form of sugar, which then means that this little packet becomes really sweet. And there is something, I'm going to get too far into this and we have to get onto the recipe. But The sweetness, the more sweet you eat, the more sweet you're going to want, even if it's non-caloric. But this does have sugar, and it also has all that sweet, right? So you're just like training. You want to retrain your palate to have a little bit less sweet. One of the electrolyte solutions, if you do need them, I do recommend, is this Element. It's LMNT. The reason I like it is because it has less stuff in it. So it's mostly just your electrolytes. And then it does have a little bit of stevia in it, but it's not quite as sweet, and it doesn't have sugar in it, if that is an issue for you. Sometimes you need sugar, right? If you're working out, you want a little bit for energy. I'm just going to hand these to you so you can pass them around. And just to kind of look at them to know what they are. I specifically, if I need an electrolyte, which is rarely, I have this, these are trace mineral drops. I went to a fitness camp one time, and it was a fitness camp, right? So you're working out like 5 hours a day. And so everyone was drinking the electrolyte solutions that have a lot of sugar in them. And I was like, I don't want to drink that. I didn't want the artificial colors. I didn't want the artificial flavors. I didn't want that sweet in my mouth. So I ordered these trace mineral drops, and basically all it is sodium, magnesium, all of the electrolytes that you might need, but nothing else. There's no sugar, there's nothing. It just kind of tastes a little bit like salt water. So you just put a little bit, I kind of just put a little bit in some water and just kind of do it as a shot, and then it'll replenish what I need without getting all that extra stuff. So that's just a little touch on hydration. And then fuel your fire. What do you need to work out? Who eats before they work out? Do any of you eat before working out?
I usually do drink a protein shake.
You drink a protein shake?
But today I was scolded, and I was told that I needed to eat carbs before working out.
That you need to eat carbs. You were scolded, and someone told you you need to eat carbs before working out. So here's the thing I will say is, really, it matters. I can tell you what the science is, right? But for the general population, what works for you is what matters. There are people that will only work out fasted because they get an upset stomach, right? So they don't want to eat, and they don't even want to have a protein, and they don't want to have anything like that. Now, carbohydrates will give you a little bit more energy, but so will protein. And the reason why protein is a good choice is because it, as you're working out, you're breaking down your muscle, right? If you've got those protein if you drink, you have some protein stores also, but if you're drinking the protein or you're having some protein before you work out, then your body can immediately start repairing. And if you don't eat before, then I would recommend getting some protein within 30 to 60 minutes after your workout, so that your body's able to replenish all those protein stores. So today we are going to make protein energy balls. And again, I was doing America's Test Kitchen. I think I found just the right combination for you. So I'm going to, okay, we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make, here's what I'm going to do. While I make one of them, the peanut butter chocolate one is the one I'm going to make. But while I make that one, I'm going to let you try the carrot cake ones. Yeah, the carrot cake ones are really good, actually. I think for those of you who know me, you know that I'm kind of like, if it doesn't have chocolate, then I don't, I'm not interested. But I was really impressed with the carrot cake ones, and I gave them all to my family members. And as I was testing and sampling, and I was like, okay, a little bit more, a little bit less. So hopefully we got it right on the nose here. I'm going to pass around. I'm going to let you each take one. That's what you get for sitting close to me. I'm going to let you each take your little container and a napkin, And then we'll pass around. These are the carrot cake ones, which are looking really good to me right now. And then I'm going to show you, for the demonstration, we're going to do the peanut butter chocolate ones. Everybody okay with peanuts? No one's allergic?
I'm allergic to peanuts.
You're allergic to peanuts. Okay, so stay away from me.
I mean, I'm not that allergic.
Yeah, like if
I
it's
mean,
airborne, it's not going to mess you up. Okay, all right. We'll just keep those away from you. The carrot. Now, the one thing I will say is I can't guarantee. So the carrot cake ones are made with almond butter, but I can't guarantee you that there's no contamination of peanut at all because there's peanut in my house.
It's okay. Like I don't get that bad. It's not. I just get itchy. It's not.
Anaphylaxis.
It's just
Okay.
inconvenient. And well,
Can you do almonds, or do you just need to stay away from this whole recipe here?
away from that.
Okay. All right. Yes. How are you with because now I'm thinking about what I have planned for next week. How are you with flax seeds? Can you do flax seeds? Okay, cool. Good. All right. So I just want to show you something really cool here. We're going to talk about the oats. So I have the protein energy balls, the chocolate peanut butter. I'm going to demonstrate right now, and then you're trying the carrot cake ones. I just wanted to talk about the different kinds of oats because I get this question often too. So these are instant oats. These would be more processed. That means more of the fiber, more of the germ is taken off of it. This is the way it's manufactured, okay? It's going to be a little bit finer. So the rolled oats, you like the carrot cake? Yeah, I have extra if you guys want to swipe some more. The rolled oats are the ones that I'm going to use today. And then those will have a little bit more fiber than these instant oats. And then these steel cut oats, which I've made for you in other classes, that is almost like if you took a piece of rice and cut it in half. That's kind of the best way I can describe a steel cut oat. It takes a lot longer to cook it, but it also is a really great source of sustained energy. So what I like to do for this recipe is I take just the regular old-fashioned rolled oats, and then I'm going to make them into I'm just doing a quarter of this recipes because this recipe that I gave you makes about 24 balls depending on how big you make it. So I'm just going to make a little bit because I still have to teach this class again this evening. And then I go home and I have a bunch of energy balls. And I say to my family, here you go. But I just want to show you something that's really cool because I was so impressed by this and how easy it is. So here's my rolled oats. Watch this. It might be a little bit loud for a second. But just watch how fast this is. That's it. I have oat flour. And the texture is much better I love texture-y. I like to have the whole pieces of oatmeal and all that, but it gets difficult sticking it together, making it all stick together well. I've worked with a lot of different versions of this, and I found out that this is the best way to get a good version. So I'm going to so you still have some texture here.
Quick question.
Yes.
Instead of, can we substitute the almond butter or the peanut butter for maybe sunflower?
Sunflower butter. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. You can substitute the almond butter. You can use any nut butter. As a matter of fact, that's on the next one. On the next slide, you could use any nut butter that works for you. So cashew butter, if you can have cashews, but sun nut butter, which I love the flavor. Actually, now I'm going to go buy some. I haven't had it in a while. I love the flavor of sun nut butter. It's very good. And it works beautifully in this recipe. So then I'm going to use equal parts. So I used at least in this recipe, we have 1.5 cups of rolled oats, 1.5 cups of peanut butter or whatever nut butter you want to use. And I really love this brand too. Has anyone ever used Laura Scudder's peanut butter? It's a really natural flavor. I like the chunky. Who likes smooth peanut butter and who likes chunky peanut butter?
I like smooth.
Chunky. We have one chunky, one smooth, and what about both? You're an equal opportunity peanut butterist. Do you love peanut butter? Yeah, me too.
It just depends on if it's on a sandwich, I want it smooth.
If it's on a sandwich, you want it
But if I
smooth.
put it on fruit, chunky is good too.
But if you put it on fruit, chunky is good too. Yep.
I think I like the or you like the reverse.
Yeah. And then someone else likes it in reverse. I'm just chunky all the way. Yep. Just chunky. Yeah, I like texture. Yeah, like I'm kind of sad when it's smooth. I'm like, I need some bite. And actually, you know what I'll do sometimes? There was a time, during COVID, this peanut butter specifically, this Laura Scudder's, was not on the shelf. There was like a big hole there. I'm like, this was like crisis in my house. So what I did is I bought the smooth one and I chopped up a bunch of peanuts and I put it in. I'm like, yeah, problem solved. I'm a problem
used to
solver.
make, like a peanut sauce, and I still make it. Just I cannot eat it anymore.
Uh-huh.
But I used to make it with the chunky peanut butter
Uh-huh.
because it has the peanut buttery thing plus the peanuts like some bite, some crunch.
Yeah. Yeah. This peanut, so you made a peanut sauce and you would use the chunky peanut butter so that it would have a little bite. Tell me more about this sauce as I salivate.
I used to make these lettuce wraps.
Lettuce wraps.
Lettuce
Oh,
wraps,
yeah.
and I would make it in the peanut sauce. Or even sometimes I would just want some, I don't know, kind of like Asian inspired dressing.
Uh-huh.
So I would make the peanut sauce, the peanut dressing with that chunky peanut butter, and I would add a rice vinegar, a little bit of soy sauce, ginger.
Rice vinegar, soy sauce. So this is making a peanut, kind of maybe like a peanut Thai dressing or some Asian dressing. And you would use rice vinegar and ginger and garlic.
A tiny bit of soy sauce.
Soy sauce. Yeah, a little bit of soy sauce. Did you put like a little bit of sesame oil or anything in there?
Yeah, sometimes I would do it.
Yeah.
If I wanted to do like having like a smoky flavor.
I love that sesame. As you saw last week when we did that sesame flavor. So what I've done here, does anyone have questions about protein powder? I often get questions about protein powders and what is a good one. So I'll just offer up this information. I'm always looking for protein powders that have the least amount of ingredients, least amount of sugar, no artificial dyes, no artificial colors. And then of course the flavor matters. But I really like this Vega. Vega is actually a plant-based powder, so this one is with pea protein. But a good one that is whey protein is Orgain, Orgain. Orgain has a really good protein powder, especially their simple ones. So if you're ever using protein powders, if you want to supplement and make sure that you're getting enough. As we get older too, we need a little bit more. And that sometimes takes a little forethought. And then, so I added a little over 2 tablespoons of this sorry, I'm going to tell you a quarter of a recipe. So I added the protein powder, and then I also put in some flax seeds. The flax seeds help it stick together, but they also provide you like omega-3s and really, really good fiber. And then, should we just pour this whole chocolate chip bag in here? Yeah. It's actually surprising. So I'm using the mini chocolate chips. It works better. This recipe makes kind of small. You can make the balls as big as you want. But the instrument that I'm going to use makes the balls pretty small. And so my favorite, this is my favorite thing. This scooper, love this. I use it. It's about a tablespoon big, and I use it for protein balls, but I also use it when I'm baking, so that everyone asks me, they're like, how do you make all your cookies like exactly the same? This is my secret weapon. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to pass around the peanut ones. You guys can skip over Dorian. I mean, unless you want, but I didn't think so. So here are the peanut ones that I already made, and then what did you say? And then while you guys are passing those around, I'm going to mix these up and just show you how easy it is to put this together. And these are a really great option. I mean, once you make these, the peanut butter ones don't even have to be refrigerated. So you can just leave them out and leave them on the counter. If you're thinking, oh, as soon as I get home, I need to get some food in me because I just finished working out, but how do I do that within 30 minutes? Maybe you just toss these protein balls in your bag, and then you have it. Or you can grab one before you work out. And for those of you who can eat while you're working out, maybe you take it with you too. And as we were talking about traveling too, a few weeks ago, food on the go, healthy choices, this is another one that you can just throw these in your bag. The carrot cake ones do have to be refrigerated, but the peanut butter ones, not so much. What did you think, Rosie? Did you try one?
The peanut butter?
But either.
Yeah.
Did you try the carrot ones?
Yeah, I like this one more though.
You like the peanut butter? Because it's peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, how? Can't go wrong, right? With that. Excellent. All right. And the smell is fantastic. For you at home, if you could smell this peanut butter and chocolate, you would be floating. Please, too, if before we finish up the class, if you guys want any more, you can have more. But let me just show you really quickly how easy it is to put these balls together. I'm going to go ahead and put them in here. So I've got my little scooper. And if you don't have a scooper, then you can just use, like, if you have like a tablespoon or whatever, you can eyeball it. I mean, they don't all have to be perfect. I have to put on a show here. So I'm going to make it all good. But yes, it's all about the presentation, as we see on the Great British Baking Show. So one of the things I was going to tell you, though, that's key, if you're using a scooper or even if you're using your hands, one of the things that's key is to really press it in to get a really, to help make it stick together, because if not, they might tend to fall apart. So it's basically Play-Doh time. And then you get to roll it into balls. Look at that. It's so easy.